The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, you're listening live or watching UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. Give me a second here, guys, just getting TikTok going. I always try and get it done before we go live. We're almost there. There we go. And you are watching The Angel Rock. I'm your host, Laura Lee Potvin. Give me 1 sec. I just want to open the chat here in TikTok. I got to use a special program, as you guys know, so takes me a few extra clickety clicks here before we get going. There we go. Good. Okay, let me get my checklist here. So like I said, I'm Laura Lee Potvin, and a little bit about me. I'm a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher and mentor. I'm also a registered nurse. I'm an animal communicator. I still say budding. If Julie's here, she's going to give me a kick in the butt, but I'm getting better at it every day. And I'm also well-versed in near-death experiences, having studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years. And I'm extremely well-versed in the paranormal. I always say I didn't go looking for it. It found me and my family. And we shared our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor Season 4, Episode 9. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it all over the place, wherever Paranormal Survivor reruns are. And you're going to see one of our own there. I didn't know her at the time. She's our station manager, and she's also the host of two incredible shows on this network. It's Michelle DeRoche. She has Beyond the Outer Realm on Tuesdays from 2 to 3:30. And she also has the Outer Realm on Wednesdays and Thursday nights, 9 p.m. And I'm going to be joining her in this month coming up. We are going to be continuing our series on, I don't like the word conspiracy, I'll say truth seeking when it comes to various media figures. We've gone into Paul McCartney, and I believe if I don't think things are going to change. I think we're digging into From the Doors. My name, God, I just went blank with the Doors. Jim Morris. Is it Jim Morrison? You know who I'm talking about, From the Doors. Anyways, that's who we're doing. I promise I'll have his name straight when we do the show. Okay, what else do I want to do here? I'm still getting back into things, you guys. You know that. Before I had it down pat, had to take a bit of a break there, and now getting back into things. I also want to thank Carnation. They sponsor all the shows here on Monday. We call it Carnation Mondays. And Carnation's a global brand. So if you guys are out shopping and maybe need one of the products that Carnation carries, please consider supporting them, because they support us and they bring all the wonderful shows we have here on Mondays. So thank you, Carnation. Also, this network does actually broadcast to every country in the world, but 80% of our audience is audio only. So if you're listening and you're thinking, how come I can't see the comments? Like, how do I join the conversation? I always say you got to see us to join us. So how you can do that, I'm going to rattle off real quick here. On Facebook, you can go to my profile, Laura Lee Potvin. Same thing under LinkedIn. We are also on my YouTube channel with The Angel Rock with Laura Lee Potvin. We are streaming on TikTok tonight, as far as I can see. Yes, it's behaving itself. We are streaming under UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on our Facebook page, our main YouTube channel by the same name, as well as Twitch. And our guest is streaming on their YouTube channel too, and I believe their Twitch. So I'll let them tell you about that when I read their bio. What else do I want to tell you guys? Let me see. If you guys want to watch us on TV, you can. We do have our own TV channel for the network. It's on Roku. So if you go to Roku and you go to the channel store, go to the search bar, and you're going to type in UFO space P as in paranormal. And there's a drop-down list. I think we're about the third or fourth one down. So you're looking for UFO, Paranormal, and United Public Radio. And that's how you can watch us on TV. I'm going to say hi to all of you in just a minute here, but I want to read our bio. You may recognize our guest. I believe they were on at the beginning of November. We're going to continue our conversation. We had such a great conversation the last time they were on, so I can't wait. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Julie Jean Bassett because she connected me with our guest. So thank you, Julie. Angel Thomas is a galactic traveler, healer, and teacher who helps people understand their soul blueprint, who they are, where they come from, and what their energy is trying to communicate. Angel's gifts include reading the energetic and geometric pattern of a person's soul, their past lives, future timelines, their starseed origins, their blockages, and the gifts they were born with. By looking into all of the layers of someone's energy field, which includes their chakras, their emotional body, their subconscious patterns, and the energetic story they've lived through in this lifetime and others, lets angels see what's influencing them, what needs to be cleared, and where they're being guided next. I'm going to put my glasses on. Sorry, guys. Give me one sec here. Angels work blends chakra alignment, energetic clearing, past life remembrance, soul retrieval, ancestral healing, activation of spiritual gifts, light code transmission, grounding, and reconnection to purpose. And so, welcome, Angel. You guys, guess what? I got to see. So maybe Angel will share their little gift with us. Angel just got a new fur baby, and he's absolutely adorable. Want to tell us all about him? He's so cute to see in there. We love to see puppies on this network, Albianos. Look at this baby, you guys. Look. Tell us all about him, Angel.
This is Apollo, my Maltese. After the show, I had to put my lap down.
Sorry.
And a friend of mine said, "Hey, I have a puppy out that I believe is yours." And I said, "Huh?" She said, "This puppy says your name." So she gifted me Apollo. Little dog with a big name. He needs a haircut. He's like, "I don't want a haircut," but he needs a haircut.
Oh, he's so gorgeous. He's so, I got puppy fever. Not that I'm having one. My dog's at the end of the bed and it's been a little bit neurotic since the hubby was in the hospital and stuff. So she's going to be going through some I don't want to say reprogramming. She'll be going through some training to kind of settle her down. But let's say hi to everybody first, okay? So hang on. So we got Heidi All saying hello, Lauralee and Angel. Hello, all in chat. Much love from Boulder. We've got Astrolight Paranormal saying hi, Lauralee and Angel. That's Victoria, and she was on the Angel Rock too, and we're going to see her again. She's a fellow Canadian. Let's see, everybody saying hi to one another. We got, Z Sun Dragon. We haven't seen you in a while. Kevin, he says hi, Lauralee. Hi, Angel. Let's see. We got Julia Evans, evening from the UK. Thanks for joining us, Julia. I know it's late over there, so thank you. Thank you, Kiara Jade. You think, you know what? It's the worst when you're live. I had the flu for a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know why I had major brain fog with it. It's starting to clear, but you know when you all of a sudden, because I have a really good memory, and it's like, what's that person's name? Jim Morrison from The Doors. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, Heidi Gall said Her Nation Mondays, that's for sure. And Kiara Jade also said hi, Lauralee and Angel. Let's see. I love it. We have the best chat here. Everybody's so kind to one another. If there's new people, they welcome them in. And Heidi Gall just said, I love the past show with Angel.
Thank you.
Julia's saying so cute about everybody's going, oh, puppy. Oh, Kevin says my youngest cat is named Apollo. That's cool. I love it.
It's such a big name for little animals, right? That means we put this like big expectation on him, right? But he lives up to it. He's over there tearing up his hoodie right now as we speak.
Well, little dogs live big lives in little bodies. I do want to say hi too, because Michelle Wilfong is over on TikTok. She is my mod, and I so deeply appreciate everything she does for me over there. She's an incredible moderator. She just said cuteness overload, and she's saying hi to both of us. Now, you guys, Michelle also on TikTok has a channel called My Haunted Apartment, and she films quite a bit of haunted activity actually over on her channel, so check her out. Oh, Kevin says I've had to work last Monday or I definitely would have been here. Well, glad to have you back here, Kevin. So we were talking before this show, and I was saying, like, what are we going to talk about? There's like so much to talk about. So I was just going to say, what are you picking up? What are you picking up energetically around the world? Or is there anything from spirit that you've picked up that you think might be helpful for people to hear about, or where we can start?
The collective consciousness around the world right now, there's a lot of fear,
Yes.
but the fear isn't for what's happening, it's for the future, right?
Yeah.
People are like, I'm noticing this is a good thing. It's a good shift that's happening around behind this fear that I'm picking up on. People are starting to garden more, right? People are now starting to grow their own food. They're looking at getting their animals. They're looking at buying freezers. And so the fear, I like it because the fear is shifting people to more of a holistic living. That's kind of what I picked up around the world. People are like, okay, I don't know if this is going to be available, so I need to garden. Okay, so people are starting to ask questions about that, and I love talking about garden. You know, if y'all know I have 5 acres, so 2 of those 5 is a massive garden.
Wow.
So it's just right now I feel like it's a lot of fear, but because there's so much light that's piercing through the veil right now, the fear isn't turning into like a negative fear. It's turning into an action. People are taking action. They're saying, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to release? What do I need to let go of? And where do I need to go? So that's what I'm picking up along with the collective consciousness. Now, of course, we do got some that are in fear, but the collective feels really good in that manner right now. Have you noticed that?
I have, but the other thing I have heard from people is, and quite a few, is that nobody would want to unalive themselves. So we have to be careful on YouTube. But I've heard from so many people that if it was my time to go back home, I would be okay with that. I have actually been hearing that a lot. And the fear. Definitely the fear.
Yeah, I think we're realizing a lot. It's interesting though, because I tell people when you wake up, you see it. You can't unsee it. It's like the mask comes off and you see it. So you realize, okay, I'm here, but I'm not home. So we understand that this body kind of hijacked our spirit, right?
Yeah.
So our spirit was floating along, minding this business, and this vessel was like, come here, let me borrow you. So I think that's in reference to that. So people are like, if I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not, I'm not. But we need you. So don't leave us. Stay with us, because everybody is a piece of the puzzle and every bit of consciousness matters. Every bit of consciousness connects the piece together to that intricately strings together this beautiful web of consciousness. So
I am noticing a shift, like you said, that we have to, again, being careful on YouTube here, what we went through from 2020 for the, quite a few years. A lot of people have, I'll say, woken up and are starting to recognize that, you know what, we're here for a reason. I'm going to start looking up things myself and researching and doing the work. And again, like you said, starting to think about gardening, starting to think about alternative ways to heal, to looking at different things. Not everybody, but you know what I've been saying, and Spirit gave me this, I've said it for probably the past couple of years, is, when you've been in a room and it's pitch black, like you could be waving your hand in front of your face, you can't even see it. And then this is just, it's not real life, but where I'm going with this example is, then the person will say me, for example, it's pitch black, can't see my hand. I happen to put my hand in my pocket, go, holy crap, I got a match, or I got a lighter, and you light it, and how far that light will go. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying. So where I'm going with that is, and I'm seeing this shift, that not everybody is in that, like with the light, but again, it's almost like you've got those matches of people holding that light, if you will, and it's really spreading far and wide, because I'm not seeing, people are afraid, but people are starting to become more responsible for their own existence, if you will, is what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then people are going inward now, right? The biggest part of that light is people are starting to call their power back, and they're seeing. I like to see, how do I phrase this? We have to allow the system to fall. People are allowing the system to fall. We're seeing it and we're going, it does not affect me. I'm over here. Let me continue growing my food. Let me continue going inward and healing. Let me continue to love me. And it does what it does. So we're witnessing not, and this is global, a global system the foundation is starting to rattle. But us, the ones that are holding these matches, we're going, some light over here, come over here. I got warmth. I got,
Yes.
I got you. I'm shielding you. So, and then people are going, okay, this is the way. So we're becoming, I guess the way showers would be the best way to explain it. But what's curious to me though, is that and I like to tell people this, even though we see the good, remember that good and bad exist in both. We got to have duality.
We have to have the both. Yeah, we have to have the both. And I like what you said. And it's true because I've been feeling this from spirit as well, that yes, and I kind of look at this planet like a pendulum, right? The ideal place, I always say, for a human being or anybody on this planet would be to stand in perfect balance of light and dark. The chakras completely connected to source all the way to the center of the earth. But it's almost like a pendulum too. And the beauty of the pendulum is, and we've shifted very slowly, I think, too far to, I'm going to say, more negativity, and it's starting to swing back. But with that happening, is I'm seeing a real shift in people. Whereas before, right, TV was the place to go. TV and whatever was said on TV or somebody you considered to be authority, that was gospel. That was all there is. Where people are starting to realize, hey, I can go within. How does this feel to me? What does this feel like? Does that resonate with me? And if not trying to create a narrative, but really digging deeper to find out what the real truth is, if you will.
Yeah, and we got to understand the darkness to understand the light.
Yes. My partner said that to me years ago, believe it or not, Del, and I've never forgotten. I will add that part right now if that's okay.
Yes.
I was still married to my first husband, and him and I were just friends. And I had already felt this calling years ago, and this how far, but it was way before with Doreen Virtue, and she's no longer in this field. But I'd taken my angel card reading course, and I remember saying to him when we were hanging out as friends, I only want to do angel cards because I only want to work with the light. I want nothing to do with the dark. He said to me, exact word, Laura, if you're going to be working in this field, you need to know both in order to know the difference.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can't work with one without understanding what you're working against. So you're a light worker, but what are you working to? And you're not working against it. Let me take that back. You don't never work against the darkness. You learn from the darkness. So remember, darkness is there to show you. It's a teacher. It's just like your ego. It's there to teach you. So you learn from it, and you learn where you prefer not to be.
I will also add that in the years that I've been in this field and meeting people who help others, or, even with the paranormal, for example, I have found some of the most powerful, effective people are people that I say walk the gray line, walk in the middle, understanding the dark, but also understanding the light, right? And knowing the difference, and there are some people that I've met that I'm not talking about working with dark figures, but understanding what it's about, who they are, why they may be there, and using it all to be able to help others, which I love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going through the comments here. Oh, hi, Contessa. We got Contessa here. Welcome. But I'm going to put up what Heidi said. She said, my phone wallpaper is there can be no light without darkness and no darkness without light, for they are twin flames. Interesting.
100%. They work together. The only thing, go back to the pendulum, the only thing that separates light and dark, they're both still a form of light. They're only separated by a few degrees. Just like hot and cold water, water is still water. It's still energy. It's only separated by a few degrees, but it's still water.
Well, Kevin says dark is an energy. You can actually draw from it and use it for good. That's what I was trying to say. So I like how you said that, Kevin. That's what I'm talking about. Some really powerful people I have met that can utilize that energy and alchemize it. Exactly, Heidi. And, to remind people, like, I forget, it was a little higher here, and I'm going to go up to, because I appreciate them sharing this. Where was it? Oh, where did it go? I'm trying to remember who it was, but they were saying that these shows are helping them navigate this planet and be able to to hear others, because it can be really isolating too, especially, and I think that research has even shown this, and it doesn't have to be family, it doesn't have to be a significant other, but research has shown the 5 people you spend the bulk of your time with, you start to actually metamorphosize more towards what they may be like.
Mhm.
So I think that's kind of what this is about, is starting to learn who we really are. Because I'm wondering how many people have actually sat in the quiet, not with people around, TV on, mind racing, but sitting there and asking yourself, who am I? That's a powerful question.
It's interesting because people ask me, who am I? My answer is, I am nobody. And they said, why are you nobody? To become nobody, to become nothing, you become everything.
Mhm.
So that's who I am. I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I'm everything, because that's like the best way to answer that question. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't like boxes. Like,
I always say, and again, I borrowed this from my partner. And you know how they say, think outside the box? How about
yeah.
thinking like there is no box? You're limitless.
Right. So when I have to put a label on who I am, like even my bio, you should have seen how long it took me to write it. Because I'm like, this is a box, this is a box, this is a label, this is a label, and everybody's like, well, you have to give it so people know. I'm like, but I really wanted to send to you, I am nobody, I am nothing, I am just everything. But there's like, you can't do that. So I'm definitely not a box person. So exactly, Heidi said, no labels, no beat box. You're right,
Hmm.
because once you put yourself in that box, after you condense your energy though, right? Because now
Yes.
you're telling your higher self, okay, let's use the term, I am a welder. Somebody said, who are you? I'm a welder. So now you've given your higher self just that path of being a welder to focus on. So your energy is now condensed into one path. But you have so many paths, so many ways. Every second of every day of every minute, we shift. In just this conversation, we're somebody new. So I'm one for not boxes.
Well, I agree with you, but going a little deeper into this as well, because I think it's powerful when we ask ourselves, who am I? Maybe I should rephrase that, but because I like what you said about if you say I'm a welder or I say I'm a nurse, right? But I am more than that. And to me, one of the biggest things I think that really helps, and it's just myself, somebody may have a completely different answer. I strive to learn something new every day. If I'm curious about something, I dig into it. And if I can learn it, if it's a new skill, if it's whatever, right? Because I really do believe we are limitless, and we've never been taught as human beings to recognize how incredibly powerful. And when I say powerful, sorry, dog hair in my mouth there if you're watching. um, I'm not talking from an ego sense. I'm talking from like people don't realize how powerful their words, their thoughts, and their emotions even are. And when we get together as a collective, and we put those energies together and explore, like how many people do you know? I know a lot that have never even left their backyard and
Oh,
own backyard, and they think that that's all there is to life or this world. There's a whole 8 plus what billion people out there, and places across the world, places of beauty, places, so many things to learn and discover. But again, we put ourselves into those boxes, right? Like thinking that I got to go to my job 9 to 5, then I come home, we make dinner. Maybe if you got, kiddos, you got to run to activities. If not, maybe you got other stuff you got to do. You go to bed and you do it all over again. But there's so much more to this life, right? But we have to want it and to really strive and reach for it. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree, because I don't know. For a long time, I would see people like robots. I am the sun, the moon, and the stars. I love that. I would
I
see,
love that.
because you're exactly what you said. They're in this. It's an autopilot, right?
Hmm.
It's kind of a form of conditioning. They're conditioned to be in this autopilot type of way. I was one of them people. I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, eat my breakfast, get dressed, go to work, come home, feed my animals, eat dinner, and go to bed. Right?
Yeah. Hmm.
I was one of those people. But I traveled the world because I was in the military, so I got to go everywhere.
So
But
cool.
that was probably the hardest conditioning to break. Was I don't have to wait. I can do what I love. I can go where I want. But it was something else you said before we got there, and it was, as you said, that this, as you seen, my guide started talking. there are new ways being born. And these are not new ways, these are old ways, right? Because the vibration is different. There are
Mhm.
new people now are being called to create new healing modalities, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing mediumship, new ways of doing Reiki. These are being called for. So if we go inward, some people are holding these keys. They just need to turn it and open it and see what's born.
Well, I think Kevin has a good point here. Season Dragon, he says, I travel in my dreams to those places and beyond. I have no desire to hop on a plane, though. And that's okay, right? But recognizing that we have the ability to, we are limitless. There's many different things we can do. And the reason why I brought that up about asking yourself, who am I? And again, without putting yourself in a box, but recognizing you are so much more than maybe the label you give yourself or the occupation that you work in, or maybe you work from home, maybe a stay-at-home parent or whatever it may be. But there's so much more to who you are. But a lot of people don't take that time to discover what do I want? Like, and again, even I don't know about you, but when I'm working with clients, and a lot of people get really stuck with, you know, why am I here? What's my purpose? Well, first of all, I never tell someone that, because that's kind of like a big Christmas gift to unwrap for yourself, but we can certainly work with you and guide you. And a lot of people have no idea even where to start. And, you ask them, what are your hopes? What are your dreams? What do you feel pulled to? And I've met many people who will say, I have no idea. Or I feel like I'm
Mhm.
at a real crossroads, which I think is a good thing, because then it opens up the possibilities maybe you never considered. But then I always go back to childhood. What did you love to do? What?
My favorite question.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, no, that's my favorite question to ask. What did you love to do as a child?
Hmm.
Always your answer.
Well, because a child's work is play, right? They live in joy. They live in the now. They don't worry about the future, especially young children, right? And it's the reason why I think I always think young children and animals can connect and see and spirit just as clear as you and I can see each other on a video, because they don't have those pre-programmed hang-ups. So delving into that energy, and many things, like kids have lots of hopes and dreams. Like, what did you always want to do or travel to or be or go? Or, for example, I had this conversation with Dell, my partner, the other night, and in like 17 and a half years, never had this conversation. And we always watch YouTube. And that's the other thing we were talking about last night too, was a lot of people I've asked now, people, what do they do? Watch YouTube, because it connects you from all over the world. I'm not just promoting YouTube. I'm talking about videos like that versus TV,
Hmm.
that little box that you get, right? Anyways, we were sitting there talking, and I think we were watching this gentleman from over in Asia that was making these gorgeous wooden tables with seascapes with resin, and I work with resin. And as we were talking, I just blurted out, I would love to go to Japan. Well, we must have had a 2-hour conversation almost about Japan and the places we'd want to go, and like creating that idea, putting that energy out there, right? And how many of us just actually sit down and talk about it? Will we ever get there? Something to strive for, but to talk about it, put that energy out there, connect with it, and talk about the different things. I never knew you wanted to go to Japan before. But that's what
Oh,
you're talking about, having those kind of conversations, right?
yes. And I was reading back what Sun Dragon said. I travel in my dreams to those places and beyond. I have no desire to hop on a plane. I was the same way, but don't forget, Sun Dragon, you're still human having a human experience, and your vessel activates with your soul. It's a trifecta: the
Mhm.
mind, body, and spirit. So, some places you have to go physically so that your body, your DNA can activate along with your spirit and your mind. So, don't forget, we're human, still having a human experience, and don't miss out on having that human experience of these different activations through your DNA because you travel in your dreams.
Mhm.
So just hold on to that thought for a little while. And I was the same way. I was like, oh, I can just travel in my dreams. But it wasn't until I touched the land when I could feel the DNA in my body activating, my soul responding because it had been there, and my mind and my nervous system responding, and that trifecta forming all together. So Remember.
I love that. We got to say hi to our fellow friend. We were talking about you, Julie. Julie Jean Bassett's here. She says, hi, Lorely, Angel, and everyone. I'm late, but I'm here. I meant to message you earlier to tell you Angel was coming on. I didn't get a chance. I'm sorry, Julie. You guys, Julie is an incredible animal communicator, animal medium, human medium. She's helped me with many of my pets. I think you said you worked with Julie with Apollo. Also, she's an incredible God, my brain's not working today. Shamanic practitioner. And there's Apollo again. He's so cute. Anyway, if you'd like to connect with Julie for anything to do with your pets, like honestly, if you've got a pet that's driving you crazy, and I have my cat and dog right now are being a little naughty, Julie is your person to connect with. She's helped me. She's helped many, many people. You can reach out to her at juliejeanbassett.com or I've also had a session with her as a shamanic practitioner. It was life-changing. You can reach out to her on whitetailshamanichealing.com. Julie, if you got anything coming up, please feel free to share in the chat. Let's see. Oh, Mish is walking and listening. I'm just reading the comments. Kevin says makes sense. Or I call him Kevin by his muggle name, Z-Son. He says makes sense, Angel. And then I think everybody's just saying hi as they're still popping in here. Mish says, come to Australia. I've always wanted to go to Australia. We almost moved there when I was a little girl. My parents were really looking at that, and I was so upset as a little kid when we didn't go. Sorry, you hit the wrong comment here. Just let me check TikTok here. Michelle's welcoming a whole bunch of people over on TikTok. So welcome, TikTok. If you're just tuning in, we're glad that you're here and you're joining us. And Michelle, thank you for everything you're doing over there. But that's just it, right? I'm seeing welcome. Yeah, still saying hi to one another. And Julie says she doesn't have anything coming up at the moment, maybe the next month or so, because I've taken a few of Julie's courses. Awesome. Took the animal communication course, her animal chakra course, which was so cool. And yeah, gotta love animals though, right?
Listen, Apollo wrote her a poem. I have laughed about that poem that my little Maltese wrote Julie. I could not believe it.
Well, people think that animals are like, a lot of people don't think that if you're a pet owner, I don't think you think this, but a lot of people that maybe aren't drawn to animals or really connected with them think that animals have no thoughts, like they have nothing, they have no feelings. And oh my goodness, they have a lot going on.
Yes, I do.
Definitely. So going back to this again, is there anything else maybe that you're seeing with the people you're working with or that you're talking to, or something even that maybe Spirit wants us to share? Because I think people are waking up. I hate the word waking up. I don't know what better word to use, but people, again, going back to this fear, right? And what I'm going to throw out there from Spirit is, please try not to get drawn into, say, politics or one side versus the other. We are all connected. We really, really are. And something Spirit gave me years ago when my youngest son was alive, and it was, if it makes no difference 10 minutes from now, let alone 10 years from now, pick your battles and let it go. Let it go, pick your battles, because things completely change. They do. They shift. They change. Right. Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's funny because I don't keep up with it. It's not in my reality. Like, I have no idea what's going on until somebody says something. I'm like, what? That happened? They're like, you don't watch. I don't watch the news. It doesn't come up on my TikTok feed, my Facebook feed. I have completely erased it out of I don't care. It does not affect my healing. But you asked something that I'm seeing a lot of. I'm seeing right now a lot of people being put back down to the groundwork because of what you're saying. Right? We forgot to heal the emotions that are buried in our root. We forgot to heal the emotions that are buried in our sacral and our solar. So a lot of people that are coming to me right now, it's like, hey, I've been practicing for 10 years, but I'm blocked and I don't understand why. And I said, well, you still holding on to emotions. That planetary alignment with Mercury, it almost pulled everything up to the surface. And so a lot of people, and they're saying, hey, I'm seeing fear. I'm fearful of this. I'm saying, well, let's go back to this root. that's what I'm seeing a lot of now. So our healing is of the utmost. I mean, we got open contact coming by the end of this year. I don't want them to fly by and miss me. I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna be outside with a sign that says right here, beam me up, Scotty. Take me with you.
Okay, so let's talk about that open contact, because I again, we're going to give Joe Montaldo a huge shout out for the network. He's created this great space. It's been around for 25 plus years, and we actually broadcast from his beautiful home in New Orleans, Louisiana. He also has ICAR, which is International Center for Alien Research, and on the website there is it's just a tick type of survey, but they're looking at people with red hair, green eyes, and Rh negative blood. Have you had abduction stories? Have you seen a lot of UFOs and what have you? And because apparently those genetic attributes never existed in the human genome over 70,000 years ago, and they just appeared out of nowhere. And I don't have any of those attributes, but my mother has all three. And I can tell you, I have missing time, blinking, hour and a half later, ending up miles away, didn't know where I was. Julie can vouch for me. Anytime we talk UFOs, the things I catch in the sky on the camera are insane. So let's talk about that then. Let's talk about open contact.
Oh, I'm super excited. So I'm Rh negative and O negative, O negative and Rh negative. I'm both. I have had contact with UFOs, ETs since I was a child. I was
Are you comfortable talking about it? Because I'd love to talk about it.
Oh yeah. When I was younger, I would actually be asleep and come out of my body, and I would wake up, go to turn on my bedroom light, and I couldn't. The light didn't work, and I would look around. There would be these galactic beings just standing around me. Wow. And then I would look over and see my body, and I'm like, I'm a kid. I'm 7, 8 years old. So I would jump back in my body, but I'm in sleep paralysis. Here comes my mom with the holy water. My eyes are open. They're still standing there. And it's so funny because they do this head tilt. You ever seen like a dog when they're curious? So they do this. She's praying. I'm looking at them. They're looking at me, and they're going, that was the first time travel. So I feel like Rh negative, OH negative. I don't know if I feel like. I have to listen to sometimes what I can say.
I understand.
Yeah. So it was a placed bloodline. I'm gonna say the only lineage I can speak of would be the Lyran lineage.
That's me. That's me. That's so me. That is totally me. Absolutely. Are you too?
Mm-hmm. But there is
maybe that's why we connected the way we did, because I know it so plain as the nose on my face. I know this. Please tell me more.
There is another lineage that has not been talked about, and no one has channeled, that exists. Before, we think the Lyran was the first lineage to exist. They were not. The Blue Avians were not. There is another older lineage that exists.
Okay.
That these Rh and O negative bloodline come from.
And do you know the name?
That's all I can say for now.
Okay.
I can see them. You have probably seen them. When you're missing time, they're timekeepers.
No way. Because my best friend, Leanne Clark, she's been on the show before. We do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and our close friend, Debbie Anderson. And Leanne and I connected years ago. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia. And her and I connected years ago in this group. And I was always drawn to the Akashic Records, and she was just starting to do it. So I reached out. She was looking for people to work with. The first time we talked, I think it was 6 hours. It seemed like it was 20 minutes. But where I'm going with this, we are so drawn, her and I, we start talking about timelines, dimensions, the multiverse, and portals. And we're just like, have to talk about it. Timekeeper.
Some people have called, you've heard them called the Watchers, but people say they don't talk, they can't identify them. Mm-hmm. But they see, when they see them, they lose time. They're an ancient council, ancient council.
Oh, you didn't know that? Julie's saying she missed time too. Mm-hmm. I've told you that story. I'm going to read Contessa. If you're okay with it, I'll tell it quickly. If you're okay with that, Angel. So, what happened?
Let him out.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. So what happened was, and you guys have probably heard this story, I was living in my previous home, which has all the paranormal activity. And one of us would have to stay awake at night to keep the other three safe. And it was usually me. And I hadn't slept not more than an hour in about 6 days. And so I was just going to the store 3 minutes away. And I ended up leaving in the car. And I've lived in the city my entire life. I was at the red light. I blinked. As I'm opening my eyes, my phone is ringing. It's my partner, Dell, on the phone going, "Where the heck are you? I thought you got in an accident." There's like over an hour to an hour and a half of time. I still to this day don't know where my car was. I don't know how it got there. It was in the opposite direction to the way I was going. I can tell you where I was. I was surprised I got cell service. I was somewhere rural, and it had a building that was a half circle. It wasn't occupied, and there was a bunch of windows broken out. And I had to say to Dell, when he said, "Where are you?" I said, "I don't know." He goes, "What do you mean? I don't know." I go, I don't know where I am. Just, I'll call you right back. And I was miles away, and I was missing time. I do not know what happened. I don't know how I got there. Nothing.
A lot, and that's happened with a lot of people. I've done that when driving. How many you'd be driving, and next thing you know, it's like, gosh, I'm almost home. You just blink out for a second.
Mm-hmm. But
So-
this is what I literally did, Angel. That's it. Blinked, opened my eyes. The time was gone. Everything. Like, I have no idea what happened. Now, Contessa is sharing something here I was going to share too. She goes, "I've never been abducted." I read them out just so you know, because the people listening won't know what the heck we're reading or what we're talking about. She says, "I've never been abducted or seen an alien, but I've been saying since I was a child, I am waiting for the mothership. I have loved the night sky and space since I was 7 years old." Mm. So open contact, you said this year. So are you able to share anything about that? Like,
so I like to say this: open contact has already been happening. We're just not paying attention. And you said it. Go outside, look up at the skies. The sky. They're floating above you. They're flashing. They're giving you signals. So they're letting us know. But we're thinking open contact is going to be like, kind of like Tessa said, this big mothership. It won't be, the mothership will be over water, but it's already been there. We just are not able to see it. It's the little contact that we need to see. And I don't like calling them galactic beings or ETs. I call them soul family. It's our family because we're born from the stars. Our family is like, hey, I'm coming. So you just have to look up. But I also know that it's going to be very subtle. I know that there's a few that have been, but within the next 3 months, we're going to start hearing stories of someone.
Well, already. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. We probably have already of people saying there was a galactic being in my home. There's a galactic being outside. They got pictures. We're going to start seeing more of it in the next few months.
Well, if Mish is still here from Australia, I was talking about her briefly today. I forget who I was mentioning it to. And a couple of years back, she sent me pictures of this. And there's a YouTube channel called Mr. MB333. And Mish, you got those pictures in the sky. It looks like there's a square in the sky. And there's this very unique shape in front of it, if I remember correctly. I've never forgotten about that, but she got featured because I believe there were people from other parts of the world that sent them to this same channel. They were seeing almost the same thing in the sky. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because this is quite a few years back, Mish, like three or 4 years ago. Well, all of a sudden today, I'm seeing, and I noticed it all throughout the week, that I'm seeing pictures of the sky with this square in the sky. Like, what is that? Like, it looks... the sky is still the same. You can just see a faint outline of a square, and it looks like somebody put a patch up on the sky, just so you're not going to see what's behind it.
Yeah, we'll start seeing them at night. During the day, you'll look amongst the clouds. Look at the clouds when they're thick, and you'll see them. But then again, like you being Lyran, you might look up and go to bed one night. I've woken up and then opened my eyes, and they've been standing over me, and I'm like, I'm not doing this tonight. So things like that will start to happen. Mm-hmm. People have already, and then they'll come in as little orbs. People will say, "You see these orbs? What is these orbs?" But I notice a lot of us will dismiss it as like camera flare. But I want you to zoom in on that orb you see in that picture and see what it really is. So it's beginning of 2027. It's going to be different than what we knew.
I love it because I have a file. Julie, Jean Bassett, and I one night, it wasn't this November, it was November before a full moon. And she had sent me a picture and she said, "What do you think this is in the sky?" And I said, "I don't know. But whenever you take a picture of the sky, always," and this is for everybody listening, just advice, don't just take a picture, videotape it too, blow it up if you can. So I showed it to Del Douglas. That's a lens flare. I go, "No, lens flares aren't that color. They're usually white." So I go outside. I saw it. But so I'm filming this guy. I think I had both my phones. I think I was voice messaging Julie back. And all of a sudden I go, holy crap, you're not going to believe what I'm seeing. So I'm filming this. I end the message. And it's like this little red thing is going like all around. So when I first sent it to Julie, she goes, I can't quite see what you're seeing. So when I circled it, she goes, holy cow, like you could see it. So I'm going to go back to the comments here a bit. Let's see. Contessa's asking, has anybody watched the movie Midnight Special? I don't think I've seen it. Have you?
Mm.
No, I haven't seen it. Mish says she's back. Kevin says, I can relate with missing time with Vet Girl. We have drove for hours and I'm going to put my glasses on. Sorry, guys. And it was as if 15 minutes went by and gas gauge did not move yet. Clock said hours went by that we both missed literally. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, Mish says, yeah. She goes, yeah, a weird rectangular cloud that didn't move. She sent me pictures of it, and then I watched it on this channel. It's a pretty big channel. He looks at weather phenomena and earthquakes and a whole bunch of stuff, and he gets things sent in to him from all over the world. So let's see. So Mish says, oh, she's saying hi to Contessa, sorry. She said she went for a walk, watered the garden. Oh, these guys always love to talk coffee, so they're talking coffee already. Mish says she loves doing the midnight special. So Judy, hi Judy. I didn't even get a chance to say hi. I highlighted you here. So she says, years ago I had a medical reading from a friend who works at a healing center in Brazil. I mentioned to him that sometimes I feel people by my bed at night. He mentioned that they were my relatives from another planet, which I could remember which planet.
Orion.
There you go, Judy. There you go, Judy. Orion. There you go. Now you know.
Orion.
Carrie. I think I said hi, Carrie, but if I didn't, hi. I've heard heard of situations like that, Kevin. That would be crazy. Yeah, Mish. Yeah, Mr. M. Is it Mr. Oh, she says it's Mr. BBBB 333. I thought there was an MD, but I could be wrong. I haven't watched them. No, she's doing the song about the midnight special. Mish is our comic. You guys, let me do the station ID here. So if you're just tuning in, you're listening live to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network, and this is the Angel Rock. I'm your host, Laura Lee Potvin, and my amazing guest. They've been on the Angel Rock before. It's Angel Thomas. We're talking about soul families off planet. Is that how we want to word it?
Yes, that's what I like to call them.
Yeah. And I don't feel comfortable calling them aliens or extraterrestrials either. It feels very disrespectful. And I'm not judging anybody, just to myself, it feels very disrespectful. So yeah. I had on Tina Beckham. She did a soul plan for me. I think it was last week. Was it last week? But her daughter, Azria, has been on a few times. They're over in the UK, and Azria does soul DNA, but for off-world or our soul family on other planets. And she just did a level 1, I think, for me when she was on, and it was so dead on. And of course, Lyran's came up. I already knew anyways, but it was just confirmation, right? Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I haven't put it back out. It was something that I was working on. Oh, you're welcome, Judy. Oh, wow. Thank you. You're welcome, Judy. Was a placement chart. And I was working on tracing everyone's soul from your entry point to now. And I actually put it out. I published it. But then I took the app down because I wanted to add more information, but it was your galactic soul. So I could take your birthday, your time of birth, your sun placement, your true north, and all of that stuff you uploaded in this chart. and it would give you a full reading of your soul's travel here and what your not what your purpose was, but what you were doing in this life. And it proven to be pretty accurate. So the 20 people that did it said it was extremely accurate and it changed their life. But I don't have it up anymore because I want to work on it some more.
That would be so cool. Or if you could find a program that did that for you, like if there could get one developed that you could, not that it would take away the personal intuitive side, but just to even just plot the numbers and everything for you, right? So then you could, it would save a bit of time for you, I would think, because that must take a lot of time to do something like that, I would think.
You ever heard of Base 44?
Base 44?
Mm-hmm. It's an app.
Okay.
I uploaded all the mathematical equations into that app.
Okay.
So I actually built an app so people just went in and then it did it.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, so you already did it. Okay, you were way ahead of me here. Yes. Because there's a lot of mathematics involved. I know I shouldn't say I'm not into astrology. I haven't felt that pull to astrology that I have maybe to other areas. Not that you're doing astrology, but there's a lot of mathematics and things involved, I know, and plotting and what. So that's so cool that you did an app.
Yeah, I want to go back to this because everybody keeps talking about the missing time. Did you jot down? Have you tried to recall those moments?
No, and I feel like I have a block, if you really want to know. Like I do, because I don't know if you caught the first part of how I ended up there, because I know you were putting the puppy out. Were you able to hear without the headphones? Okay,
No.
so what had happened was I was in my home. We had severe paranormal activity, like just insane. And one of us had to stay awake at night while my two sons and Dell slept. It was usually me. And I hadn't slept in almost 6 days. So I was just going to the store, and because I have issues with my back, I didn't walk. I took the car, and I only should have been about 3 minutes. And I stopped at a red light. I blinked. As I'm opening my eyes, my phone is ringing, and it's Dell going, "Where the heck are you? I thought you got in an accident." Like there was well over an hour to an hour and a half. It was somewhere in between that time period. But that's how quick it was. I closed my eyes and opened them, and I'm miles away. I don't know what happened. I don't know how I got there. I have no idea what happened, but I feel intuitively that it was something off world. I don't feel it was negative, but it was definite. I don't know if it was some type of healing, maybe some type of download, some type of protection, because we were dealing with really true evil. Like if I had not lived with what I had lived through in that house, I wouldn't have believed it myself.
It's interesting because two things came through when you said that. Because I can tell you don't want to recall it. So I'm nosy. I'm just going to go through the timeline.
I'm open to recall or what you pick up. I'm open to it. So
what I feel like is whatever was in that house had attached to you, and your galactic guides took you to a place because it was something you said. It was a building that had not been used that was dome shaped. So
I know. And you know why I remember? Because my mom was a bookkeeper when I was like 3 years old for this gentleman who had an auto body shop in the city. And it was the same type of dome building, but you drove in, it was a garage. That's what it reminded me of. But the windows were broken. No one was there. Sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to throw that little bit in there.
So I got a feeling that they dropped whatever that was off. Because if you can recall back, I bet you the activity in your house calmed down after that night. Not even a little bit?
No, I think what happened, just to add to that, because I think you're right about that. I think whether they gave me a download or a healing, because I have had really severe paranormal activity around me my entire life. Like when I was the summer turning 8 years old, we moved to a brand new house built from the ground up, brand new development. Every night at 3 a.m., I knew nothing about the paranormal. I knew nothing about anything. I would wake up totally unable to breathe. Something was choking me. I would be blue. There was no 911 back then. My dad would be scooping me up, driving me away from to the emergency, get a block away, and I'd be able to breathe. I was terrified to sleep. And then finally, I think they diagnosed me with asthma months later, and I was on medication for it. It just stopped. It just stopped on its own. It wasn't asthma. I know what asthma looks like. I've looked after people with asthma. My boys had asthma. It was not asthma. I have had something, I think, around me my entire life as a little kid. So the way this started at the paranormal if you're, I won't get too in depth into it, but are you okay if I share this with you? It might give you a
Yeah.
bit of information. So the house we lived in, my first husband and I, was his parents' house. I know when it was built, I know everything. We always had a lot of bad things happen in that house, but nothing obvious. But my marriage broke up in that house. But we were still together, and I had hurt my back. And I was mostly in bed, but there were days I could get up. So I kept busy. I love to be creative. And I created a bunch of dog accessories and things like that, like really cool collars. And so one day I was able to get out, and I had been going all around to local businesses. And we just watched the movie The Secret the night before, my ex-husband and I. And everywhere I went, people wanted to sell my merchandise for me, but nobody would take a commission. They were just going to do it out of the goodness of their heart. I remember coming home and saying to my then husband, Earl, I can't believe this. Nobody wants a commission. I remember him kind of slyly saying, well, maybe it was the secret. So I went to bed that night, had this dream like it happened 10 minutes ago. And this has to be 17, 18 years ago. I'm in my front yard. There was a tree in the front yard. There was one, but there was a man sitting in the tree. I can tell you exactly what he was wearing, pinstripe suit, like everything down to the last detail. And I remember him saying to me, hello, Laura Lee, you know that little business that you have? He goes, that's nothing. I can give you wealth. I can give you fame. I can give you anything beyond your wildest dreams. All you have to do is agree to follow me. No, it's not radio friendly where I told this thing to go. It looked like a man, except for the eyes. And then I asked, who are you? Now, I still am not convinced one way or the other, but I'm just telling you, told me it was a demon, told me his name, told me how to spell it. And again, told him way more emphatically with many more curse words where to go. And he started laughing at me, and he goes, oh, no, 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 no. He's wagging his finger at me. He goes, every time you see a crow or a raven, you're going to know who it is. And I called on Archangel Michael in the dream. There was the most brilliant flash of like royal blue, silver, and white. I woke up crying, shaking, and in a complete sweat, which I've never done in my entire life. I looked for this name. I had been forced to go to Catholic school, church, whatever, never heard this name before. Where did I find it 5 years later? Everything, including the spelling, the name, the animal form, everything. But after that dream, very shortly, all heck did break loose in my house. Crazy, burnt, bit, scratched, thrown, you name it, choked, like it was awful. So I was told at the time, and I've had people tell me since, I was told, and I thought it sounded arrogant. Now I know what it meant. They said a lot of people, because I was reaching out, it was like a 20-hour a day job, like, because I wasn't working in this field at that time. And I'm going, like, why is this happening? What is this? And I had quite a few different people say to me, you're meant to be doing something that is not going to be positive for, let's just say, the darkness. And basically kind of to push you away from any of this stuff, because I had already been looking into angel cards and stuff. Don't know if it's real or not, but that's kind of a bit of the history behind what happened in our house. So it did not settle down.
Well, now that I know what it was, no, they're pretty persistent.
Oh, let me tell you. Mm-hmm.
I know now that I know what it was. Yeah, it takes people like Julie to remove those.
Well, Carrie says, so you told him to take his deal and shove it where he will need a proctologist? Oh, girl, that's like toddler version of what I told it to do.
They're so persistent though. But it's interesting because normally they don't come to you unless someone sends one to you. It has to be sent to you.
Could it have been familial? Because like I said, as a little girl, why I was terrified to go to sleep. Terrified, because I knew it would happen. I knew nothing about the paranormal. I knew nothing about 3 a.m. Not that I always say it's 3 a.m. somewhere in the world and it can happen at any time. But why? I've never been drawn to dark things. I've never been around dark things. So did my soul family, and I have that missing time, maybe do some healing, some kind of downloads, something with me? That's why that happened? I don't know.
I think they removed whatever energetic block it had on you, for sure. But God, this is such a rabbit hole, because what you experience, right?
Yep.
Like this, for entertainment purposes only, what you
Yes.
experience, right? Let's look at some of the, without saying any names, we'll just pick a wealthy person,
Hmm.
athletes, right?
Hmm.
They don't get to be athletes. Most of them take that route. The route that when that comes, if you look at them, it's the that's the route they take.
Hmm.
If that makes sense. If y'all are tracking.
Hmm. I was laughing in the dream when it's going, I can give you wealth. I can give you fame. And I was like, dude, you don't know me because that is not something that's going to tempt me to. And this was a dream. Like, and I normally at that time never remembered my dreams. This is
Yeah.
like happened 10 minutes ago. 10
Yeah.
minutes. Hmm.
They're sent. They're sent. I don't know how to explain what they are. They're jinns. I call them jinns.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're jinns.
And the thing was, it wasn't just us. There were people, if they came to our home, they experienced stuff. Like, I'm writing a book about this experience, not to scare people, but there are people that go through this type of oppression, I'm going to call it. And there is a way to get through it. But that's when I started, like I said, I started locally, went province wide, went countrywide, went continent wide, went everywhere looking for answers. And that's actually what got me on the path that I am in now, because I was already looking at angel cards, but it really, that's what solidified it for me. Hmm.
A lot of them come to from through they're sent through the reptilians as well, right?
Hmm.
That's the darkness we're still working through, right?
Hmm.
Being a Lyran, one of the oldest lineages here,
Right.
with one of the brightest lights, who's, they have to get to us some kind of way, so they'll send things like that as well from a young age, because they want to suppress you from a young age. If they can
And
scare you out of
that's
your
what it
gifts,
was. Yeah,
at,
because I remember and I'm going to be 61 in August. I remember my earliest paranormal activity at the age of between 3 and 4.
same. Hmm.
You too? Same
Yeah,
thing, right?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, same. I can remember seeing them come through my window. I can remember, but I was like
Yes.
you. I
Yes.
wasn't afraid of them. I was like,
It came through my window. Stormy, stormy night. I thought it was it was howling. Everybody was asleep, and I was hearing this tap, tap, claw,
tapping,
claw on the window. And oh my
and then
God, I'm
it
getting
comes through.
goosebumps, Angels. You agreeing with me? And
It
I,
comes
I
through,
thought it was a tree, and it wasn't. It was claws.
and it comes through the window, and it
It
just
came,
stands
it
there.
pinched me. I was hiding under my covers, going, "Please don't hurt me! Please don't hurt me! Please don't hurt me!"
Hmm.
And something pinched me. I
And
don't know how I didn't have a heart attack.
yeah, because they made it cover, and then they're just standing there. And yeah, I've seen it. Because the Lyran starseed, the oldest lineage, you're holding the light. It's not just a light you're holding. You're holding a
You're
light
the
tether.
only person that told, like, I know this happened because I can, like, it's almost identical feeling the energy of
Mhm.
what happened.
Yeah, so you're tethered to the crystal in the center of the earth. They have to untether you. They untether you. It pulls us to the darkness. But because we have no fear, I'm the same way. I was like, dude, I don't know what you want. I'm going back to sleep. I had seen so much come through my room at that point. By the time it tried, probably like you, by the time it tried to give you fear, you were like, let
No,
me
I
give
was
you.
terrified, but I knew I let it go quickly, but because I knew I couldn't get up and run to my parents' room, I would have got my butt beat for getting up in the middle of the night when there's nothing there. So, wow.
I think
That
after that, my mom had a wreck. My stepdad had a wreck. Something. It was like a lot of wrecks. Like we kept totaling cars. It was crazy. I remember, and I was just like, just go away.
This is interesting, Carrie, what you wrote. You said, "Have you ever had a womb healing? I can see the root of attachment in there." It could very well be. Very well be. Without revealing too many details, that would make a lot of sense. That would. Now, this is just two of us having this conversation. How many people maybe are waking up to their soul family, like you said, and it's going to continue? Or, and that's why I think just so many things you said, Angel, including about the healing
Mhm.
and getting to the root of a lot of things. I think that's powerful and it's important.
And you got to think too, with so much light coming through, we have to have balance. We're unbalanced with the light right now, so the darkness is going to push back harder. So
Mhm.
we have to, like you said, what we're talking about, people are going to start having memories. If they're listening, they're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I remember that," or "Oh my gosh,"
Yep.
because we're not the only ones. We're just the only ones that maybe didn't make the deal, right? We
Yep.
didn't make the deal. We decided to take the journey of let's do this the right way.
I know I didn't take the deal because I could tell it's not radio friendly, but believe me, every cursey word I knew, and I'm not a super pushy type of person. You would have thought I was fighting a dragon. I was that emphatic, like in that dream. There was no way, no how I was agreeing to any of that. I thought it was ridiculous. I remember thinking.
But everything happens in threes. So you should have seen this thing 2 more times. I've seen mine 3 times.
Yeah, but it happened when I was 4, then what happened to me when I was 8, and then I went through this, and it wasn't just a year. Like, we were in that house, we went through almost 11 years of it. I walked away from the house.
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah. Mine, I've caught it on camera in my woods one night.
Oh.
I took a picture of it. And I was like, I see you. And then of course I have a good friend that's also a shaman, and I called her and we did some stuff around the property, and I was like, no. But I went through something after I almost lost my house and a whole bunch of other stuff after I shooed it away. So but I was like, you know what? I'm standing in my light.
I did lose my house. I did lose my house. And you know what? I had a friend at the time say to me, it wasn't because I didn't pay my bills. It was like the whole neighborhood had been affected. Too long of a story to get into. But I had a friend that said to me, Laura, maybe this is a gift from the universe. And I said, you know what? You're damn right it is. And I walked away. And I'm not sorry I did at all. Mm-hmm.
That because that's the part of it. It takes, like I'm telling you, might get. I wouldn't be surprised if you got emails, people saying I've experienced this. I lost everything. I've lost this because this is the effect of the darkness that's pulling at the light. But we have to stand in our light. Just stand in your light. Your guides got you. I promise you, they do. Your good guides got you.
I'm so glad you said that because I was thinking this. First of all, it's just stuff. Having worked in palliative care, you can't take any of it with you at all. It really is just stuff. It's terrible. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but when you think about it later, after you've gone through it, you recognize that. But what you said was so powerful, and to say this to people, to stand up to evil, is that no, you're not cocky about it. You're not angry about it. You stand in the full knowledge of your higher power, your guides. You've got this, and they will stand behind you too.
Yep, and they're gonna give you something better. You don't know. You got to trust the path. It's uncomfortable, but trust the path. Trust the path. It's gonna work. It always does.
It does. No, Jennifer said, hi, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us. She says, when I was a kid, I saw Greys walking in my hallway. I was terrified and couldn't scream. I was just a kid.
Oh, the Greys who did not get to evolve, the first hominoid species, and they're just trying to live like we are. They just want to keep existing just like we do. They're harmless.
Why do they do this to humans then?
Huh?
Why do they do this to humans then? Like she was just a little kid when that happened.
Probably was connected to her parents some kind of way, and she just happened to see them. They're everywhere. You see Greys look like us. You don't even realize you're looking at Greys. Like, you just walk by and there's a Grey. Like, they just hang out with us all the time. But they just want to exist. They just want to live just as we do in the light. So I don't find them harmful.
Sounds like Kiara had an experience. She said, I've tried to connect and remember, but no luck yet. And then let's see, Z-Sun Dragon Kevin says, large white cat appeared behind my toy box as a child is the earliest paranormal experience I recall. I've always had dreams of the lion world and have some of my spirit guides from there. Yeah, human-like. They're human-like. Mm-hmm.
That means you're Lyran. That means
I know. I was going to say that.
You're Lyran. That's serious. That's serious B.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the cat appeared the way it did too, Kevin, especially if you were a little one, not to scare you. I know I've met many people as children connecting with their off-world soul family, we'll say, and they'll appear like a cartoon or something that's not terrifying to a child, recognizing that as a child, most children don't remember having that life off-world, and they'll try and appear something more friendly or not always, but that's what I've seen anyways. Kevin then says, dreams and downloads now, I connect with them and can communicate in my mind's eye like I do with my team of guides. Yes, Judy, stand in the power of our light. And the one thing that really helped me years ago when trying to understand this was to understand the principles of energy, that like attracts like energy. And some of the most aversive things to them that we dealt with was love, light, laughter, raising your vibration, basically. And just that was when I started to understand that and really embrace it and then hold that space for my family and the property. That's when the physical attack stopped.
Yep. You hold
Mhm.
that space and light and it goes away because fear feeds fear. But if you have no fear of fear, it diminishes.
Yeah, because fear feeds them, right? And
Hmm.
anger and all those. Now, anger, I always, from what my guides have shown me, is a very interesting energy. A lot of us are afraid of it. I've never liked that emotion myself, but it's got movement, right?
Hmm.
If you can express it and release it in a healthy way, right, then it makes room to be able to move on to a higher vibrational emotion.
Yep. Or like
Mm.
someone said earlier, alchemize it, calcify it,
Mhm.
release it in a fire. Fire burns,
Oh,
so it
that's
will
a
get
good
rid of it.
idea. That's a really good idea. I'm
Hmm.
still blown away that you're sharing that. Thank you for sharing all that you have tonight because I had no idea these things about you, including your experience as a child. It sounds like it was very similar to the first experience I can remember.
Well,
Wow.
and my mom, my mom, she would have, they would come after her in her sleep. Not too
Oh,
long ago, I had to clear my house again because one came after her in her sleep and she was screaming. And I was like, oh no, we ain't doing this here at this house. So I cleared and it hasn't happened. But it was
mhm.
the same thing. So I would be curious, like, if your parents experienced that, or because a lot of times it's passed down to us from a parent.
Yeah, my parents don't. My dad maybe would believe more in this. His mother is the story he told me as a little kid. He was one of 17, and the third oldest child, there was 12 boys and 5 girls, and he wasn't home for dinner. Short, I'm trying to make this quite short. And I remember my dad says he was in the middle end of the family, so he would have been about 11 or 12. And he said his mother kept saying his uncle's name or his brother's name, and that he's not home. Something's happened to him. And as my dad told the story, his father said, "Don't be ridiculous. He's just late for dinner." So this would have been in the probably later 50s. And apparently, what had happened was my uncle and his best friend were hot rodding with cars that they had created and fixed up. And there were no seatbelts. And my uncle was driving first, best friend behind him. And the door opened. He fell out, and his best friend very sadly ran over him.
Mhm.
But when my grandmother said something had happened to him at the exact moment, that the police showed up an hour and a half later. That's exactly when he lost his life. I think it was like 6:12 p.m. or something. Now the Rh negative blood, red hair and green eyes is on my mom's side. She didn't believe in any of this stuff. None at all. So I could never, never, ever, ever, ever ask for it. But that's interesting, and you are right because even when we've like because Joe has UFO undercover and stuff, we've had panels and things where we've had these discussions, and he said exactly what you did. It runs in families.
It's from the family. Somebody in the family would have experienced this, and that, like, I wouldn't have never known this from my mom until she lived and she moved in with me. And now, like, nobody's. It could be this time of night, which is late, and a spirit will knock on the door, and she'd be like, "Oh Lord, spirit knocking on the door, angel," because she knows that this is like she wouldn't believe it. Then she started telling me stories of like the same guy you experienced coming to her in her dreams, chasing her. She's running from him. She can't catch him. Then he would manifest in the physical, and she'd be running from him in this 3D. So I knew that it's passed down through the family. Sometimes they'll say like they're having dreams of going into buildings and they can't get out the buildings, and they just keep going in and out. Every time they open a door, it just leads to another door. So that's another way it shows up.
Oh God, yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, I think I've had dreams like that before. Yeah, you just there's no out, or like you
Mm-hmm.
just keep going in circles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a thing on what's it called? The back. It's not the back door. It's something like that. And I've seen videos now. Again, I don't think they're real, but people will say go underground in a building. They'll film it before AI, and there's nothing. It's just endless. Like, but there's rooms and hallways and hallways and rooms, and there's no people, and they're just going in circles and circles
Mm-hmm.
and circles. I forget. I don't know if it's called the Beyond, or there's a whole theory on that I've seen before. That's crazy. So I'm just going to go grab a few more comments if that's okay. Um, Mish says, gosh, how many spirits have we spoken with and not been aware of what they are?
A lot.
That's why it's not a good idea to, I always say a little bit of knowledge is dangerous, but to, and again, you don't have to go in fear, but it's important to have somebody show you, or you do enough research to understand when you're dealing with this side of, that side, because you don't necessarily know what you're dealing with. And I always say, dealing with something that's that old, you're just one tiny little human. And especially if you don't recognize who you are and where you've come from, you don't have that memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, mhm, yeah. Jennifer says with the Greys in her room, they didn't want to hurt her at all. So that's nice to hear. Thank you for sharing that. So Carrie says, I would love, here, where's my glasses again? I would love to have a support group chat about stuff like this. So important to share and figure it out, what's happened to all of us. Suggestions welcome. Don't suggest Facebook. It is. And I think that that's why more and more of us are doing what we're doing. Like, you're building a community, or you know what, Angel, I think you are, you said. I'm
Yes.
building a community, and people will find who you're meant to connect with. And then there's like-minded people like ourselves that we connect up and we do work together, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but it is important to talk about these things. So Carrie says, what, I am in session rest and healing. So would help to pass the time. I can talk all day about stuff like this, but many of us can. That's why it's good to have these conversations, right?
Right. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to be able to relate to somebody, because a lot of us haven't even spoken on this stuff. We just hold it in out of fear of being judged. But I'm
Or
always
people think
open.
you're crazy. Yeah. Like I'm still blown away. Like, as I was telling you what happened to me, my earliest memory, you were like almost completing the sentences. So I know darn well you, not that you wouldn't tell me the truth, but I mean, I know you experienced it, because you were like, yep, 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 yep. And Julie's sharing, I use fire for everything I need to transmute. So I know how to do it, but for people that are hearing this and thinking, well, how do I use fire to transmute something maybe that no longer serves me, or I want to change or alchemize it? Have you got some suggestions for people at all, Angel?
What you can do is take a piece of paper, write down what you want to release, the emotion, the fear, the thought, the pattern, whatever it is you don't want to release. Write it
Mhm.
on a piece of paper. And I always tell people, fold it away from you. Fold the paper away from you. They say, why do I fold it away from me? You're pulling it out of your energetic field. Imagine you pulling this out of your energy. And then once you fold it away from you and you felt you got it all out, then you can light a fire or a candle and just burn it. And then ask Mother Earth to replenish, give the ashes to Mother Earth when it burns, and ask her to replenish it with the positive of what you release. So if you're letting go of self worth, I'm calling in confidence within myself, trust within myself. So that's an easy way to do it.
I'm glad you shared that. Yeah, I often suggest to people about burning and releasing, just not even thinking with the fire when you mentioned, but you're right. Yeah, that's one of the big things I do suggest to people, burning it, releasing it, even when I'm working with clients, and especially with Crystal Reiki, because we work with people's chakras and their auras and what, and then afterwards doing the grounding routine, I just go with what their guides and my guides tell me. But a lot of that is, connecting. I usually use Gaia and a heart chakra, asking Gaia to take what no longer serves, the client as well as myself, or both. When we're working, it works for all of us, right? When we're doing a session, and to take it and alchemize it into something positive for whomever may need it. So, Kiara, you just shared, you said, Carrie, I'm just not having any luck in the areas y'all are. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I'm just getting upset at myself. Is there anything you can offer at all? I know I probably can too, but you're my guest. So, and I hope you're
Oh, something I always say, just because my experience is away doesn't mean your experience is going to be away. And we got to see our guides communicate with us in so many different ways. If you, I feel like you love music here. I feel like you're a music person. You might go turn on the radio and they're playing a song that's resonating. Listen to the words, or you might be humming a song. Look up the song and the words, because I feel like you're a music person. Your guides talk to you that way. Or you can, they might, sometimes mine leaves me feathers or dimes, or I'm pretty clumsy, so when I trip over a tree branch that's nowhere near me, I know that's my guides, and I stop and I go, okay, let me listen, let me see what's going on. So don't look for big ways, look for subtle ways that resonate with you, that is within you, the way you do things.
I love that. And I'm glad that you shared that. Mine is hearts. I have found my puppy at the time, she's no longer with me, left me a potty stain on the rug that looked like somebody had taken a perfect heart, took a picture of it. The more I pay attention to it, sometimes it's a spill of coffee, could be a piece of paper, napkin ripped up. I'm telling you, I found them in a box of 20 chicken nuggets, perfect hearts.
Mhm.
Just started noticing them, taking pictures, and asking my guides, and just feeling intuitively that it lets me know I'm on the right path. We're here with you. We send you love. We send you support. You're never alone. And I'm not unique. Just, and I don't mean it disrespectfully to you either, that you're not unique. Everybody has this. It's just paying attention to the little things. The other advice, Kiara, I'm hearing from Spirit for you is, and I love what you said about my experience is not your experience. It's okay to just live in the now today. Maybe there's an emotion you're dealing with. I love the music aspect. The other thing is just sitting with that emotion. Maybe if you, and it doesn't matter, there's nobody censoring you, nobody judging you. If there is something negative you're feeling, for example, or anger or sadness or whatever it may be, if you need to write it all down, and I don't care what words you use, write it down. Again, you can burn it, you can release it, and giving yourself that grace and holding the space that you would for anybody else around you that you love and care for. We forget to do that with ourselves, and it's okay. And the only person you need to measure yourself to is yourself, right? From the day before. If you can do at least that much, if not better, and if you can't, that's okay. Tomorrow's a new day. And that's what I'm hearing from Spirit. So I hope that might help a little bit for you.
You said something there, something that I really strive to work on this year when we talk about shadow work, right?
Yeah.
A lot of clients want to go back in the past and relive the memories, but you said live in the here and now. Anything that needs to be released will show up here and now through an emotion or a feeling or something. All you got to do is just live in the now. And when you're triggered, talk to the emotion, just like me and Laura Lee's talking now. Just say, hey, what do you want to tell me? What are we angry about? What do we need to let go of? And watch how anger will start to tell you. And then you'll feel better. You'll be like, oh, I feel better. So
And your body will too. Your body will tell you. I always say pain is your body's language, but if we can just sit, like I sit outside every day, every single day, winter or summer, I try to get outside. First of all, I need the vitamin D. But second of all, to sit out there, just breathe, just be quiet, just sit with it, right? And you'd be surprised a lot of things that'll come to you, or just say watching the birds or the wildlife or taking a look at the flowers or whatever, and just really sitting with that, right? And again, we can't do it all at once, and it's so hard. Like Leanne and I are working on a course right now and building a community, and one of the biggest things we've been talking about is, and if you've ever taken a course, especially in the spiritual field, there's invariably always a few people who everybody else will have some experience, like maybe we walk through an exercise and it's imagine, sense, or feel, blah blah blah. And there'll be some people that don't get anything, and they'll say, well, maybe I'm not meant to be here. Maybe I'm not able to do this. If you are there, you're meant to be there, first of all. And second of all, maybe you just need a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance, a little bit of support to get there in a little bit different way. But you will get there because you're not there by accident. If you felt that calling, you there for a reason. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. And Sarah says, Angel, I love music. I know your guides talk to you in music. They give you songs all the time. Start looking up the lyrics to these songs they're giving you, and you're going to see the messages they're telling you. And you're right. I was listening to something today, and someone says, what he said was that just because yours isn't working now does not mean it's not working. Maybe it's not time yet for yours to come on, but it doesn't mean to stop. So
I love that, and that's so important. The other thing is, and again, I believe you're the same way, but not identical. But where I'm going with this is that We try to walk the walk of the talk that we do. Doesn't mean we're perfect, right? We're human too. But for example, and I never used to listen to lyrics. It is amazing. I actually have a video on my YouTube under the video section. That's how old it is. I think it's called Why the Power of Gratitude or something is important. But I go through the lyrics of a song that really was quite powerful, and just really recognizing when you look at the lyrics, right? Because a lot of us don't. We learn the words, we sing the songs, and we don't really sit down and look at it on paper. But where I'm going with this is, as of late, and my friend Leanne, I'm going to bring her up. Her thing is music, like just so powerful with music. That is how she connects with spirit. It could be Foo Fighters, it could be Elvis, it could be anybody. She just connects with the lyrics. But it's got me now. And I'm actually surprised how many times I wake up in the morning and I keep hearing a song, like a different song. And I now realize that's a sign to look into that. What are the lyrics? Why was I waking up with this song? Mm-hmm.
That's your guides. They're saying, hey, here's a message for you for today.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's powerful. Now, Jennifer is saying, I'm a little higher up here with comments. I know my gifts, hang on, glasses again, are from my grandma. She would read tea leaves, and I loved when she did it. I would always want her to do it. I have O negative blood and had strawberry blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you don't, I don't have any of those attributes at all. My mother has all three, right? It runs, I think, in families. It does.
It's interesting because no one in my family does. Just me with the Rh negative and O negative blood. But as you can see, I have brown eyes and definitely don't have red hair. So but that's my blood type.
Yeah, see? And Jennifer says, I've had dreams like that too. I've had the same dream from when I was a kid all the way into adulthood. Wow.
That dream is a message for you.
I would say so. Now, Kiara is sharing, I had a dream inside a dream inside a dream of a snake coming up from the side of my bed and onto me. This was as a child. And first of all, that's going to sound pretty scary. So many things I'm hearing and seeing, including even going back into your lineage, a dream inside of a dream inside of a dream, right? Maybe something needs to be shed, something needs to be healed is what I'm hearing, feeling. I don't know if that'll resonate.
Also, when I think of snakes too, we have a misconception of snakes. Snakes are powerful. It means power. It means authority. It means patience. They mean they're in a way. So maybe this was showing you, bringing in power for you of who you are.
The other thing too with snakes is, believe it or not, being reserved. Like when you said patience, because snakes don't choose to bite you, say if they are venomous. That's their last line of defense. Like they might give you a warning, might give you whatever, but that's not the first thing to be running around looking for people to sink their fangs into, for example. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, they tend to mind their business. As long as you mind your business, they mind their business.
And Kevin, or Z-Sun Dragon, says, had that dream a few times, years apart, of the doors, all different styles and colors open, one another, does that say etc., until I wake up. Interesting. Now, that's the interesting thing about dream interpretation, right? I always say the best person to interpret your dreams is you, because you are the one having the dreams and the experiences. And that's easier said than done when you're like, I have no idea what this dream means. But I remember it was quite a few years ago, I had a dream specialist on from the UK. Like she specialized in this type of thing. And she even said it herself, the best person to interpret dreams is you. It's your subconscious, your experiences, and what have you. But what I love that she had shared is keeping a dream journal. You don't have to write a novel, but before your feet hit the floor, if you just start jotting down some of the things and, keeping those records and going back, sometimes you can tend to make some sense of. Would you agree, or have you got a different suggestion, Angel?
No, I agree, but I learned to be more effective is voice noted.
Oh, voice note, yeah.
Because when you write, you think, but when you voice note, you just talk and you're going to rattle out the dream. So I always tell people I used to say dream journal. Now I say voice note it, because just wake up, pick up your phone, voice note, and start talking. And now people are saying the whole dream will come out when they do that because they're not awake.
You know who blows my mind with dream recall is my eldest son. Well, my only son now, and my partner Del. I've heard them tell me a dream for like 35 minutes, every detail, it's like, how do you guys remember all this stuff? Now, Jennifer, for what you've shared, Angel, she said, I'm going to do that, Angel. I need to stop being triggered by something.
Talk to the trigger. Ask what it's trying to tell you. Ask what it's trying to say, and see. And you might see that what's triggering you. A lot of times when we find this trigger, we're like, man, why did that even trigger me? You'll realize what it is. So, and you can just release it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's it.
Sorry, I got a bit of a delay, but with you saying that too, a lot of times, a lot of things that trigger us aren't even the thing that trigger us, right? Like it's just like you keep letting it build and build and build and build, and you're maybe really irritated, angry, whatever it may be below the surface, and it's almost like one more straw gets piled on the camel's back. So when you start to unpack it, you can really get to the root of it sometimes too.
Yep, I agree.
Mish is saying, wish my guides would leave me the lotto numbers. Well, we all can't win.
Me too.
All of us. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's see. I'm just scrolling through our comments here. I seen something about anger. Hang on, I'm going to go up here. Please cooperate, StreamYard tonight. It's not going to go for me. Kevin is sharing. I'll move on to the next one. It says, often dreams are symbols of something much calmer than the horror in actual dream.
Our dreams will actually tell you what you need to be released to, right? They'll tell you what's going on, what you need to be released, and they'll tell you how to release it. And they'll show you everything you need to see within a dream. You just have to pay attention to it. And listen to it, because that's another way our guides are communicating with us of what we need to let go of.
Yeah, but how many of us really actually do know what needs to be done? We just don't want to do it because we're afraid, or that's not the way we want things to go. And then I try to remind myself sometimes that I can't always see the big picture, right? And sometimes you just got, like Kevin said, you just got to give into it. And once you do, you realize, hey, it's not. And again, setting the intention when we release things, and you did say it earlier, you said it'll make room for something better to come in, but we can set that intention too, this or better, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But we're human, right? We're going to be human no matter what. We're still having a human experience. So whatever that road looks like, we take it. I always tell people there's no wrong path. If I decide to be stubborn, then I'm just going to take the long way around, and I'm going to learn some valuable things I need to learn along the way. That's for my journey. But we're still going to end up at the same end point, no matter what.
Yeah, and you said something else earlier that's important, that if it's important or it needs to be released or it needs to be healed or it's an issue, it will keep showing up until we overcome it. Release it. Like Judy just shared here, she says, I understand what you mean about our guides giving us messages. I also get messages from music and books too. There are messages from our guides all over, because if you don't get it, they keep giving it to you. License plates. Like my rule of thumb is, if something shows up twice in a short period of time, it's like, I'm just going to keep an eye on that. And then if it shows up 3 times, that's my number. I know. And I need reminding, like with the bear. I think we talked about the bear, that now the bear's going to be waking up because the skunks are already out, even though we got mountains of snow still. And Mother Nature's playing her annual April Fool's joke every year. Like, you can sit outside in shorts. It's like pretty warm where I am, but at nighttime it gets cold, right? Well, with the big snowstorm, I think April 1st, always we do here, and we're going to get one.
No.
Yeah, well, the bear finally hibernated, and I'm sure it's going to be waking up hungry. But somebody reminded me, and I didn't even think about it. And I talked about that bear lots because we've seen it every day. And I thank my stars. There were days it could have walked right. It was like within feet of us, just sauntering over, never hurt us, thank God. But there was a message in the bear, seeing the bear being around, and us having so many close encounters. So sometimes we need that reminder to look up, what is the spiritual meaning, or feel into it. What is it? What's it trying to tell me?
Yep.
Nobody in my family, Kevin says, does either. Kevin says he's B positive, but he's had off-world type experiences and missing times. Julie says snakes are very powerful. And Julie says, well, Julie, you've got a little bit different perspective because with the shamanic practitioner and it's a whole, I've never had a session with anybody like I have with Julie. It was incredible. She says, I help people interpret their own dreams using a shamanic technique. It pulls it out of your subconscious. Once the meaning is learned, the dream often goes away. So I'd like to back that up because, yes, there are people that can help you. If you can't figure out the meaning, I mean, of course, why not reach out to somebody that is able to help you? And I know Julie, and there's other people that can help you with it.
She's helped me with a dream.
There you go. So I had a recurring nightmare as a little kid, and it was almost identical. And now that you talk about, being inside of a basement almost, or a house with no doors, but there was creepy things behind every door, I remember. And I had it a couple years later as a kid still. I couldn't believe I never had it since. But Judy says, as a child, I had this recurring dream every night for almost a year. In the dream, I was put in a rocket heading for the moon. Ooh.
That means you were elevating as a child. It means you're already in the stars. Julie, I bet you have your gifts are very strong. I feel
Judy?
I feel like she has very strong gifts, Miss Judy.
Judy's very special. All of you are very special. I know Judy. I don't think she'll mind. We live in the same city, so. Mm-hmm.
Sun Dragon says, how my guys talk to me as well as in riddles. People say I talk in riddles. I don't think I talk in riddles, but
I was just about to highlight that comment. Way to go. Insane. Go ahead. Sorry, you said but our guides do.
Mine do. But people say that I talk in riddles. I don't feel like I talk in riddles.
I don't think you talk in riddles. What I get from you, and you can tell me if I'm on or not, but I get from you, there are certain bits and pieces of information that you receive from the other side that you can share with us. Mm-hmm. And then there's other bits and pieces that you're not yet able to, but you can give us a bit. Would that make sense?
Yes, 100%. Mm-hmm. So you'll see me filtering through and listening, because some stuff is important to me and some isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand. My guys are chatty. They just be talking. And then they'll say, oh, wait, not that. And I'm like, okay, what is it?
Good thing you slipped that in there before I said something. Lisa Martinello says, and then you guys, we're almost out of time. I told you, you know what? Every time I have Angel on, it just flies by. We didn't know what we were going to talk about. And I said, we're not going to be at any shortage to talk about stuff. And I've learned so much from you tonight, Earring. Like, I'm still blown away by some of the things you shared. So she says, do you think there's something more than my imagination? Hang on. As a kid, seeing paper bags going up and down the hallway when getting up from bed to use the washroom. I was a young kid.
Pleiadian guides.
Yeah, I don't think it was your imagination. I was going to add that right away.
I think those were your Pleiadian guides. But what is the significance of paper bags? Did you used to draw on them, cut them out, take them for lunch? They thought it would be funny, so that's why they had the paper bags. But that's Pleiadian. You're Pleiadian, Lisa.
There you go, Lisa. Julie just says, never. Time goes by too fast. It sure does. Well, I'm gonna put Angel on this spot. If she ever wants, you ever want to come back on again, I would love to have you back on here, because every time you come on, we have the most stimulating conversation.
Mm-hmm. Well, just send me the calendar and we'll pick a day. I'll book later out in the year, like November again.
Okay, so Kevin's saying the paper bags are significant, as Angel said, and Lisa Martinello says, wow, that's interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you guys, I will have Angel back on. I'm not booking as far into the future with having it's been almost 60 days in behind. So I think I'm booking into July, maybe June, July. And we'll get to see how big Apollo's grow.
He's not going to be no more than 5 pounds.
Oh, I always wanted a little munchkin like that size.
But I'm debating because I don't know. Have you ever seen Maltese? They look like little mop dogs. They have really
Yeah,
long
my
hair.
my cousin, who was like my niece, had one.
So I don't know if I want to grow his hair out or cut it.
There, she's a hairdresser, and this little one I think has gone to the Rainbow Bridge now. But I believe, yeah, it was Lucy. Like, yes, she is over the Rainbow Bridge. She was only 3 pounds. She's just a little tiny, tiny, tiny peanut. It was so cute. So,
Oh.
Rachel, how can people get a hold of you? Where can they connect with you? Because you do so many things, and you just opened a Facebook page. You had told me before we went live.
So you can connect with me on several places. You can connect with me on TikTok under Soul Rise. You can connect with me on Facebook under Soul Rise, and my website www.soulrisehealing.com. You can reach me there, or you can just find me under my personal Facebook, Angel Thomas. Either way, you're gonna find me. So
Yay, yay. And if you guys ever want to connect with me, you can get a hold of me at the moment at facebook.com/Angel Rock. I was supposed to have a personal page by now, but things happen when they're meant to, right? We had a few months off there. Or any social media platform under Lorelei Potvin or the Angel Rock. I do psychic and mediumship. I do crystal Reiki. I do energy healing, teaching and mentoring, and things like that. So, yes, stay tuned because Preston Dennett and Dolly Saffron are coming up next with the Light Gate next Monday. I haven't chatted with her, but I'm sure she's coming. Carol Ann Idarola, one of our own hosts here on UPRN, is coming back on the Angel Rock. I cannot wait. And I want to thank you again, Angel, every time I have you on here. I'm so glad. Thank you, Julie, for connecting us. You're such a great guest, and I really enjoyed our conversation tonight.
thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Well, we'll have you back again. So you guys have a good night and stay tuned for Dolly and Preston. All right. Oh, what did I just do here? I almost played a wrong thing. I'm telling you, brain fog is lifting. I promise.